Yes, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining for this Open Upgrade talk. So I will not speak a lot today. I did a lot yesterday, so I will ask questions and facilitate. So the goal of this talk is to present you 3 tools that have been tools or set of tools that have been created by people doing a lot of upgrades with Open Upgrades. Because Open Upgrade is a great tool, but sometimes when you have a lot of migrations to do, you still have a lot of things to do around. And so there were some initiatives in the community to have some tools to help with that, but not really coordinated and not even published inside the OCA repositories. And so we proposed this roundtable so that 3 initiatives are shared with you. And we will have 3 speakers. Yes. Actually 4, because in one company they love to share work. So we will have Hugues and Rémi to present the tool they use, which is Open Upgrade Wizard. So Rémi will do the demo, and then Hugues will participate to the discussions afterwards. We will have Holger to present some tools I don't understand, but some things about scripts, I think. And we will have Sergio, who also did stuff I don't understand, but you will know all about it in a few minutes. And so they each have maximum 20 minutes to share what they did. Then we will have a little break of 5 minutes, and then we come back to have a more about the discussion about let you ask questions, but also see how we could converge, or what is the advantage of each tool, to see how we can work and how you can use it on your production. So we will get started with Holger. You ready?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So.
Thank you.
It's also HDMI here.
Oh, I need HDMI. And HDMI is on that side. So. It doesn't work?
It's working.
Ah, perfect. So, good morning. My name is Holger, GitHub handle H. Brunn, and my company, by the way, is not only called Enterprises, but Hunky Enterprises. You missed that, but doesn't matter so much. Yes, what I want to present to you is, in my hope, a very user-friendly script to run Open Upgrade. I think, or I know that a lot of people are quite abashed when they look into Open Upgrade for the first time, because you don't really, in the documentation, when we look at that.
Put the mic near your...
Even more? Oh, okay. When you look at the Open Upgrade documentation, it does not really give you a recipe what you are supposed to do to actually run Open Upgrade. So it's not so super to that. And what I think there should exist is actually something like that. Just a list of commands so you are supposed to run, and then you have Open Upgraded something. If you do not remember anything from this talk, remember this address, because there it says everything: hbrunn.github.io/openupgrade. You can also just click through my GitHub profile and find it there. So what I'm going to present to you is just doing what the README says. Create some folder, go there, download the one file you need for the migration, and then run it. But before doing so, let's, in a little interactive session, create some test data that I can prove to you that what we do now in 16 will end up in 18, because this is what we're going to do. Could somebody please scream a random name so that we can create a partner with that name?
Clara.
Wait. So this is a very small database containing some demo data, having the job queue module installed. Just because it's small and doesn't have dependency, you'll later see why I picked a job queue. And we create a contract. With which name? Clara. Clara. It's not bad. Okay, doesn't matter. Maybe we find some image of Clara that we can upload too, so that you see it takes the file store with the migration too. Is that a good Clara? That's a great Clara. Maybe a little too young. Whoever that is. Yes, we save her. We add her here. So, now, Clara in V16. Now I go to some empty folder. It's not actually empty because I prepared some things so that it goes faster. But you will go to an empty folder. You will...
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Oh, of course. So I downloaded the script the website talks about, and then the only thing I need to do is to actually run it. I can there also just copy the example command line. And what I need to do is, so there are several ways to run the script. You can either pass it the URL to your Odoo instance, but that only works if the database manager on your instance is accessible. There is a possibility to turn that off for security reasons. If you didn't turn it off, you can let the script directly talk to that. That's what I do now with my test instance, which is at address Odoo 16 and the port number. So I copied that. The other alternative is that you pass it a zip file with your where you made a database export yourself via the database manager or via a database backup or whatever your way is of creating a database backup. It needs to be the standard Odoo database backup in zip format. So here it now asks me what the database name is. You can look that up here. So I type run migration demo. We can also pass that, by the way, in the command line. But I show you the full version. Now it wants the admin password of the database. So that's the database admin password, what you need to fill into the database manager, not the password of the admin user. And then it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Oh, that is so helpful. Thanks a lot. Of course it doesn't work because I stopped the... Hello, hello.
Juste les lumières qui sont au-dessus de l'écran.
qu'elles font un peu long. Mais je ne sais pas s'il y a moyen.
Okay, so I stopped already my Odoo 16 instance, so of course this couldn't work. But now let's just verify that Odoo actually is alive. We still have Clara hanging around here, very good. So for the script we can just run it. We fill in the database name. We fill in the admin password. And now it is just going. You see here in the log that it downloaded the database. It tells us what it does. It has now downloaded the database backup. It has unpacked it. It has looked into the manifest file and saw that it's database version 16. The script knows it itself that the latest available version for upgrade is 18. So yeah, now it goes and installs things to make an upgrade work. And by the way, it also looked at the installed modules, and it saw that QJob is installed. So it needs to pull in the Q repository for 17 and later 18 to run the migration properly. We can have a look at all the logs it now writes. So here you just see it going. It does write pretty comprehensive logs. So first about the build, then there is a git aggregate phase, there is a pip phase where it installs things. But the very interesting part for you will be the 17 migration log, because there you see everything it does for migrations. This now will take quite a while. During this while I want to talk about some other features, and then we can just come back to that. It will have created an export for an 18 database. We restore that in my 18 demo instance and verify that Clara exists there. And by the way, please do not try this yourself now here via the conference network, because I preceded this with all the downloads. But for you, it will download gigabytes of data, and don't do that now, please. For you, it will also take much longer than what I'm doing here, because yeah, you see it installing things here, but actually the stuff exists already, so it's not downloaded again for me. But given that you start from scratch, it will do that, and that will just steal the bandwidth for everybody else. So yeah, what's the idea about that? I added some customizations that you can see when you look at the README, but it's really meant as a way to get people started with Open Upgrade who never had anything to do with it. So my hope would be that it motivates people who were scared away by the complexity before. It's hard for me to estimate actually how successful you will be. So if you just use a standard Odoo installation with just a couple of OCA modules, I'm pretty sure that after running this you will actually have a properly migrated database. If you do a lot of customizations, if you have a lot of custom code, then this is not the right tool for you. Then one of the ones that come later will probably suit your purposes better. If you want to create migration scripts, so if you want to do Open Upgrade development, it's also not the right tool for you, because it's simply not very developer friendly. I really gear that to the, say, casual but technical user who wants to yeah, migrate a database and just get it done. But I also implemented a function that you can help testing release that the Open Upgrade team is currently working on. I cannot show you that at the moment because we do not have an experimental Open Upgrade 19 release yet. But the idea there is that you can just use the same script, run it on a database that is migrated to 18 by now. And it will fail left and right, but hopefully you can, and that's the important part, give us helpful input then about things that are wrong at the moment. I am actually, I was a little bit double about writing this script in the first place and publishing it, because I'm fearing some eternal September situation where a lot of people just vomit out stack traces that don't help anybody on GitHub. So please don't do that. Only if you see in the logs that there is really a specific problem with some pull request that is currently developed. Please, in that case, go on GitHub, tell us what's wrong. But just some random stack trace where you don't have an idea what to do with it, that's not helpful. So yeah, please don't do it. But do it for helping testing, for verifying that things in the experimental version work. This will not make sense in the next couple of months, because we will soon release the base, the migration of the base module, but just that yeah, will not work. Wait until there are pull requests for account, at least analytic will come before, mail, that kind of things. So before we have that, it just doesn't make sense to test anything with real life data. Now it might already, okay, it's finished installing. Now it's running the migration. You see here, runs a lot of things. And actually, it just went away, so I have to go there. You can verify that in the log, it has run the queue migration. So here, given that it's we can look at that in a second too. Given that it's set up the structure in a way that the queue repository is available, it just contains the code and the migration script for the queue job module. It's running here, and it's running the 18 migration later on too. A little bit for the technical part. What it actually does when you run the script is that in source here it has copied and extracted the database backup. In Docker, it has created a very basic Docker compose file for every instance that you need for the migration. And then in a folder named after the migration, it has a very basic Docker file that installs the dependencies of Odoo and does a little bit of configuration, but the interesting part is in SOC, where it has created a suitable, tailor-made Git aggregate configuration for your instance. So here you have Odoo itself, you have the Open Upgrade repository, and because it contained the queue job module, which is in the queue module, it has the queue repository. If you have more modules, it will add more things there. That's basically the whole story. It's finished. Very nice. It tells you where it has exported the migrated database. So I stop my 16 container. I start 18, and I will just restore the backup there. We can close that. We go here. And then we select the file. We give it some name. I give it the same name, but it doesn't really matter. Usually, for your testing, you will keep it's a copy selected, then it generates a new database ID and that kind of things. And maybe you even want to neutralize it, because then you do not, it doesn't deactivate things like cron jobs, fetch mail servers, that kind of things that have connections to the outside, which you do not want to have when you just test something. But if it's the real deal in the end, you say the database was moved, do not neutralize it, and just restore it. wait a little bit. Of course, for you, all of those things will take much, much longer too, because this is now, of course, just a play database. You can expect several hours runtime for the migration itself for every version. So you need to multiply that with the amount of versions you migrate through. So don't expect that to be done via during a coffee break. Start it in the morning and look at it in the afternoon. So, same login. And now we are in 18. Can see here, and with a lot of other things. I'm looking for Clara now. There's Clara, yay, with her photo. But you also see that Q, for people who are not familiar with it, Q has changed quite a bit, the data model between 16 and 18. And if the migration had not run, this would now fail horribly. And it doesn't, because the migration ran, yay. And with this, I conclude my talk. Well, that was the story. That's so much better.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I don't know if there are some specific questions that you want to ask right now to Holger, or we continue and we keep them for afterwards. There is one question. Okay, so please come ask your question.
Does your script do anything to the data in the database, like deactivate mail server temporarily during the migration or something like that?
No, it doesn't, but the Docker image itself does not have a network connection. So things can try to happen, but they won't get to the outside.
Sergio, do you want to
Just wait.
Okay, I made a presentation.
And you have to put it near the
Okay, hi all, I'm Sergio Corato. Sorry, perhaps too height, perhaps.
It's okay, a bit more.
Okay, okay, it's. Hi all. Okay, good. I'm Sergio Corato. I'm from Italy. I made this presentation. I'm a developer from 10 years, more or less. I was formerly in my my former work job. I was an accountant. And I studied as an accountant, and I never studied as a developer less than in my personal work time. I am now current president of Udo Italia Association. I became a PSC in Italian localization and in accounting. And I'm using OpenUpgrade to migrate Odoo instances from 7 since I started in 2019 to do the migration for my customers. I work as a freelancer, met myself, and I collaborate with some people. And I think I'm doing that because I search for the freedom to do what I prefer. I used the Open Upgrade from very time ago, but I think it's not very simple for a functional point of view. I think there is no functional using Open Upgrade actually. Because even the page, the website where they try to show how this is used is very difficult to understand. Many years ago it was even more difficult. Now this website is more easier than it was some years ago. After that, someone is migrating Odoo with copying data because they don't understand Odoo, Open Upgrade. They don't have the time to use Open Upgrade in a in some useful way, and then they do this horrible thing that I think is to copy the data from a former version to the next version, and they skip the process, losing very big data in this way. Another problem I think there is that the migration process is not tested in the OCA runbot. So there is not a way to do a test of a module that start from 16 and go to 18. In our localization in Italy, we don't use odd version. We use only the even version. So we have to test a module to be okay in the migration for 3 version minimum. So this is a problem because some scripts of Open Upgrade migration are not tested by anyone. Okay, I have already told this slide. I thought about a solution, different solution, a solution that put Open Upgrade process inside a Odoo, as it is a regular document. So as we create a sale and this create a picking and this create a invoice later from the sale, etc. We can do that inside Odoo, and so a functional person can do that for the simple parts only, because if there is some error, if there is some missing module to migrate in the next version, obviously there is the need of a developer to do that. I created some script in Python since 2019. Then from last year I started to put them in a module, and this module creates some env, some virtual env inside Docker machine without using other Docker's machine, because Docker can be created only with some permission that are not available to the normal Odoo user, even in the OCA process. So I create some virtual env, one version for each version to migrate. So if I had to do 16, 17, 18, I have to create 3 virtual envs. At the end, or during the process, if you request it, you have a dump of the migrate instance. Is downloadable because it's a huge amount of data without a backup module. So I put this dependence in the module. The process is, I explain it already apart, create a virtual env for each version, dump db of the current instance, migrate the version of the data of the Odoo instance where we are clicking the button. So it migrates itself, I say. It dump the database of the current running instance. It put it in the first virtual env, so 16 if you are in 16. Install all the modules used by the Odoo instance in the virtual env with pip. From this version, I think to use v because is faster. Started migration from the first version to the next one. We can check the logs because we will have problems. We will fail. It will fail for sure, usually. Retry the migration until it works. Do it again until the final version. Some options useful for the user are dump db at current state, restore db from the state from the db dumped in the previous point, start or stop the instance, which if we are in localhost, the instance is accessible. The migration instance is accessible on the localhost in another port. If we are in cloud, I don't test. Speak later. I see some differences that I put here. If I say correctly, it must be used from the command line. It uses Docker to create Odoo instances. It needs a dump created and downloaded for the working instance. It doesn't remember the state of the migration? I don't know. Later, tech, okay. For OCA proposal, I think it's good to make the migration process between major version testable. Put this module or an alternative in the OCA Rambot tests, so we can automate the migration scripts test, because something not tested is something possibly not working. The module currently test the migration. Okay, I see. I can. Okay, you can see it here. No, here. Use now it's in this repo is in my repository, but I use test as OCA do. Test with OCB. If we check test, this is a test from 16, migration from 16 to 18. This is the whole process. Is a little long, but it takes only 15 minutes. If we go at the end, This is the creation of the free virtual EMS. This take some times. At the end, okay, here. Okay, it start with dumping database for version 16, dumped, restoring, starting the first migration. It do the migration to 17 here. Perhaps if I skip something. I go at the end, if do the same from the 17 to 18, and at the end, it do the migration from 17 to 18, down sector next version to false, because there is no 19 now. So this is the whole process. If we go in on the wind, okay. Another okay, another thought I had is to be compatible with enterprise migration process. Open upgrade migration does not include enterprise migration, because if we have someone which use enterprise, the migration they do is from one version to the final version, and this is a problem if we have to migrate some fields that are in our initial version, because sometimes the fields are lost in the final version, because some fields can be deleted, some can be no more as present. So I think we can put some in these steps, because I can you can see the migration, you can do the migration step by step with some simple button. We can do in these steps add some send to do SAE, the database, to migrate to the version final next. This is to be thinked, and we can then do the migration for the next version to the next version in the UI of Odoo, and then proceed with step by step, sending and receiving the migration from enterprise. I think we can see better the process here. Okay, there are two menu.
Could you zoom?
Okay.
Thank you.
There are two menu in the technical part. Here we create for each version a record. All of these parts of this record are thinked as in the process of migration. We usually have to do something in the meanwhile, because is not written in the open upgrade process, but usually we have to do some some things like some SQL commands before the execution, some SQL commands after the execution. This is the list of the module installed in this instance. And we have to do some other things like install some module that I need, but they aren't auto-installed because it's not written in the open upgrade process. Some module to delete because some modules are present, but they are no more needed, nor they are no more present in the actual repository. Module to uninstall before the migration, module to uninstall after the migration because they are not migrated or the customer don't want to migrate it, and etc. All of this part is loaded. This one is this is very simple for 18, 17. Then in the 16 it's more complex because I have more modules to remove or other. 16, 14. I created a simple, a single file to contain all of these, but we can create different files if we want. It's not mandatory. Then in this record we can create or update a virtual env or recreate a virtual env if we think there is some missing, some module we don't want anymore because the virtual env if created or recreated and we delete some modules, they still present, so we can recreate if you want. I don't do that, do this now because it's a little long. Okay, each version. I can restore and update. I don't do this now to be faster. And this take the dump of the DB database. Then I do the prepare migration. This make some things from the configuration that we made here. The parts that are before are done here, or the module are uninstalled here before, or okay, it's done. I can do click migrate. We can see here the migration is in process. Logs are, I put the logs inside the normal, usual Odoo logs. They are different because we can see the module firm here. This is short because fast because it's a simple installation instance. I put some file with the log in the instance, so we can see later if we want, or we can show to the user. Okay. It's doing something after the migration. I don't know how to solve this this warning. It continues to start, do something, stop, do other something, start, do other something, stop. So it's kind of okay, it's done. So now we are on 17. I didn't try to access the 17, but we can try. With this button we can start do current migrated version here, and we can access it on the, it's shown here on the port 1858, which is here. I have succeeded before with version 18. Now we can try 17. If it works. Login. Perhaps it is time to stop the presentation. And okay, this is the 17. Okay. So, done. Thank you. There are some questions or okay.
You can repeat my question. It's simple. I see you always bring the data files, when migrating the file store.
Yeah.
You see risks on running the scripts without the file stores?
Oh, there is a file store.
Yeah, but doing the script migration without it.
You can. I do that usually to do some tests to fasten the process. I do that many times without. In fact, I put this option here to remove it in some instances that have a big file store. Okay. Here. Yes. Okay. So parameters for the screen, where it is, something like this. Then screen, clone. Yes, okay. So we saw the same thing. Okay, so my presentation here. We'll try full screen. Maybe it will. Maybe it will work. Like this. Oh wow. Okay. So we'll start with the beginning. Okay. So my name is Remy. I'm working in Cope It Easy, and with Sylvain. We have built a tool for migrating databases, and that's what I will present to you.
I've already made a talk in 2023, so you can watch it also. It's a bit, here I will be a bit shorter, so don't hesitate to look the full presentation on YouTube or something like that. No, yes, on YouTube. So, introduction. So now you have already know the process. So if you want to migrate an Odoo database, you need to set up an Odoo environment for each version you want to migrate. You will have to get a backup of your database and restore it in this environment. Then clean the database, maybe neutralize some crowns or things like that, or be sure that your database doesn't have an access to internet. And then you have to run Odoo with the OpenUpgrade code or script, depending on the version you are, because there is a change around the 14 version. And after you have done that, you can export your database and put it in production. It seems easy, but as we say already, it fails often, and so that's what the tool is for. So OpenUpgrade Wizard, it starts with a meeting with me and Sylvain because we are doing migration and we have both scripts, bash scripts for doing things, and so we look at our scripts and listed the features we have, and yes, decided to build a tool to have the same features and yes, contribute on the same tool. So at the beginning it was just a tool for our two companies for doing migration, and then we made it open source and we put it on GitLab, and yes, we don't make lots of words about it in the community at first, but people find it and start using it, and so now we have users also that use these tools. So you can find it on PyPI. It's called Odoo OpenUpgrade Wizard. In fact, it's not very a wizard, it's more an orchestrator, because it helps you to set up everything and yes, run the migrations. It comes with templates and nice defaults for migrating an Odoo Community Edition with the standard module. But if you have OCA module or custom modules, it's totally usable. That's the way you use it. We use it, but you will need to configure a bit the things to make it works. We'll see later what you have to configure. Yes, and so as I know for this time, it's used by Le Grap in France with Sylvain, in Copy-Easy in Belgium, but also at Command in France and also Smile, and maybe other people that I am not aware of. And also we can go on this contributor page where the contributor are more up to date than these slides. So feel free to look at that. We are like 5 or 6 now, so yeah. The technologies used is like we use Docker to create Odoo and PostgreSQL environment. We use, at least for now, we use Git aggregator to get the code of Odoo and all your custom module or OK module and so on. We use Python to develop this tool. The OpenUpgrade Wizard is written in Python, and obviously you need some SQL to script some fix pre-migration things and post-migration things we'll see later, and the configuration file is in YAML. I have no idea of the time, so I will let this. Okay. It's a tool that we use with lots of subcommands. So it's a command-line tool, as Sergio said. And so the first subcommand you have to run is init. So it will create you a directory with a special structure, so we'll be ready to start using the Odoo Open Upgrade wizard after this running this command. It will ask you the project name, the initial version you will start, and the final version you will be when it's done, and also your PostgreSQL version. Don't forget that your PostgreSQL version should be equal or lower than your production one. If not, the restoring your backup in your production will fail. Then, when you have your structured repository, you can start filling the Git aggregator configuration file. There is one configuration file for each environment. So if you are making a migration for 16 to 17, you have just 2 environments. So as it's in src and then the number of the version, and there you put all your needs, custom module, OK modules, and so on. And when you're ready, run OOW get code, and you will download all the code. So it will take a bit time. It will be a bit heavy. Do not hesitate to use the version tag flag to specify one version if you want to do that version per version, or if you update something and you don't want to rerun everything, just use that. When you've done, it's time to build your environment using Dockerfile. So there is 3 files in each environment you have to configure. We created 2 files that should be enough normally. So extra Debian requirements, where you can put your Debian package if you need some, and extra Python requirements, where you put your Python dependencies. And as it uses Git aggregator, you have to list all the dependencies from the OK module. So it's not, you have to do that by hand or by script to get all your Python dependencies for your environment. And then you can build, and it will try to build an environment. And if it doesn't succeed, or if you want to configure it more, just look at the Dockerfile in each environment, and you can fully customize it, like doing any queries you want to have your environment running. Do that for each version. We are not experts in Docker files, so that's why we just provide a Docker file that works for standard Odoo Community Edition modules, not for all the OCA modules and so on. Okay, so after that, you can use this little command, install from CSV. It's nice to have, for example, a demo database to ensure that all your environment are working. So you just put a list of modules you want to test in module.csv. That is in the root of your project, and then you use this command, and it will create you a database, and so you can try it. We'll see the command to run an instance, and yes, have access to it with localhost and the port, and so you can do it by clicking things. But we suppose that everything is okay, and so now you can restore your backup, and so you can use restore-db subcommand, and it comes with it uses the default of pgdump and pgrestore, so it doesn't use the default Odoo way to make the backup, like the zip file. It's based on pgdump and pgrestore, and the file source should be like a tar file or something like that. So these are the formats we support, and can be more in the future if you want to contribute, but we have enough with that for now. After that, your database will be in the PostgreSQL container, and so you can start running it to see if it works. So that's the command you use to test your database, or test the database, you have initialize it with install module from CSV. And so there is a little flag there, steps, and we'll see later what it means. But at least for testing your initial version, it should be step 1. And with that, you will have access to a local host and the port, and you will access to your database. Okay, so when you have everything running, your database and your backup setup, you can use the upgrade subcommand. And this subcommand will just basically do the migration. And it does the migration by steps. So each steps is from one version to another version, or maybe sometimes to just one version, like performing an upgrade. And so you can have several steps depending on how far you go. For example, a regular update in 14 version, that's a step, and then an update with Open Upgrade in 15, that's another step, and upgrade with Open Upgrade, update with Open Upgrade in 16, another step, and then finally maybe a regular update. That's an old process. Maybe all these steps are not needed now, but previous to the 14 version, Pedro said to me that it's better to doing that, so keep it. We can talk that later, but basically that's the process that's inside Open Upgrade Wizard, and that's the process we use. So if you don't change anything, you will get something like that. I think yes. So each step consists of running a pre-migration SQL file, then updating all the module of the database, and then running a post-migration script .py in Python on the database. Normally, this file can be empty if everything runs well, but sometimes you will need to perform some dirty thing on your data because your data is a bit crap. Or sometimes you want to do something in post-migration, like removing module or installing other modules. So it's very free. You can do whatever you want there. So we use that, for example, at the start, we use post-migration script to just uninstall some modules that we don't need, and at the end, install new modules or something like that. So you're free to do whatever you want in these scripts. It should not replace the migration scripts that are in each OCA module or your costume module. Obviously, it's for like more general crap that you have to do for migration to success. So yes, that's the pre-migration script. So yes, I've already talked about that. So you can also execute this script with the subcommand execute script SQL. So you can launch it on another page to test it on something like that. And yes, post-migration, already talked, but everything is written here. Don't hesitate. Yes, it's written in bold. Don't forget to contribute to Open Upgrade. As I said, it's not the way. It's not the place to put all the things to upgrade. If your issue is linked to a specific module, then put it in the migration script of that module. And okay, after that, there is some subcommand that will help you doing the migration, like a PostgreSQL command that will help you to access the container and run some random commands to see, debug and see if everything is okay. Or yes, you can do whatever you want, or testing something. There is also the CopyDB. CopyDB is very useful. We use that for when we run the upgrade, we stop after each step and we make a copy, so that if something fails, we can just roll back easily and start from the point that we're good. And after that, everything's success. You're happy. You have tested with run, so you can be sure that database in the target version is running, and so you can dump your database from the container, and you can use this. And it's the same as yes, restore, and it use defaults for PG dump and so on. So yeah. And another little subcommand that is useful is estimate workloads. It's useful for two things. You can configure it to estimate the work you have to do for your database. So you list all the module you need, you have in the initial version in the module.csv file, then you run it, and it will search for all this module in your environment, and then it will do that for each version, and it will estimate the time it will take to you to maybe write open upgrade scripts or migrate your port your module to the newer version, and you can configure your time. That's a nice feature, but it's also very useful to check that all your modules are present in the initial version. So you run that, and it will list you everything. If it doesn't find something, it will say it to you. You will see it. Okay, and that's it. So if you have any question, and also want to say that you can use it, and I use it to make open upgrade script. It's very easy to start to an environment with like 17 and 18, and then just put your module in module.csv, the module you want to test, and then try a migration and write migration script in the module, and then retry. And also what's really nice is that your environment will be, as we use Docker and so on, it will be stable and it will not change. If you run the migration now and it works, then in 3 months, except with some new clients' data in your database, that's the only part that can fail because all the rest is the same. So, yeah. Question?
The question is written in my presentation. Does it remember the version it is in a moment?
So your question is, does the program remember where it was when it fails?
Yeah.
Yes. So
in another moment.
Okay. So it does not remember, but you can. What we do is that we don't run just the upgrade from all the version in one step. We just say upgrade step 1 to step 2, and then we make a copy of the database with copydb. So we have a fallback point, and then it copied the database, but also the file store, obviously, and then we run step 2 to step 3, and we do that step by step. So if something breaks, we can just go back to the step 2 by copying the old database to the running database and doing stuff like that. But the program is not aware of where it fails and where you have to start again and things like that. You have to remember that. But there is, I didn't show you, but there is a log file, log directory where all the logs are written separately, so it's easy to look, okay, this version, does it success? You go on the file and you see if everything is right. Does it answer? Yes. Okay.
Other questions? No. I hope you have questions for us for the roundtable.
Closed. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I propose we take a few minutes break. I don't know if you want it or you want to continue. Yes, let's have a 5 minutes break, and then we come back. We will install here seats for so Hugues, Sergio, and Holger. And the goal. So I have some questions for them about migration in general, but I hope that you will ask interesting question for you, and we can have. It's more like a discussion. So think about what you want to ask, and we can discuss it together. So in 5 minutes, meaning we start again at 50. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are starting the roundtable after the presentation of all the tools. And so we speak in the mic because it's recorded, and I think a lot of people will check it on YouTube because we have the best open upgraders here around me. And so I know that Sylvain has a lot of questions, but we can hear questions from you, of course, and maybe you have questions for each other. So is someone wanting to start with a question? Yes, Rémi, and come here for the recording so that we have it. Thank you. Go here.
Yeah, so thank you. I'm Rémi from Le Filament, and I was wondering about the file store. Also with respect to the question we had before from Daniel, if we had to keep the file store during a migration through many versions, because I think at least the assets are regenerated and so on the last version, and I'm not sure it's and maybe in some versions things change on how the file store is accessed or whatever, and I'm not sure we can decorate, at least for a real migration, for testing, of course maybe we can do it without the file store, but I was wondering if we can just keep the file store and put it back at the end of the migration. It's clear?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Yes.
About the file store, in general, we can say that you don't need it, but there are several cases where you would need it. Right now, on the latest versions, there are no transformation that leads to generate files in the file store, but that has not been the case on previous one. I would say that on version 12, Odoo incorporates in the framework the attachment equal true attribute on binary files, and that meant that all the data you had on the database were dumped to files to get the images and so on there. So that specific Jan, not sure if it's 12, I think so, but more or less, you really need the file store, at least the result, the file store result of the migration, to be merged or to be combined with the rest. And you can have this case replicated among all the versions, because any programmer in OCA put a binary file, then discover that is not attachment equal true attribute, and then, for example, in version 17, you have the conversion, and you have a migration script dumping this. So there is several risks to not do at least that combination at the end. And the critical one can be if you are running some kind of web scrapping or you logging in the intermediate version, then the assets that are also stored in the file store are recreated, and in the database, the file store path is changed. So when you try to run on the latest version, you will find that files are not present, and you will have everything broken. So that are the two main things to take into account about the file store.
I'm wondering why you're asking the question, actually. So do you encounter any problems with having the file store during the migration? Because
sometimes it's really huge, and copying over to
okay, so just size issues.
now I'm using better fast, so it's
Okay.
not an issue anymore.
Yeah, I think people copy in case of...
I agree with Pedro. In the general case, you should really add it, because it's not really predictable who changes attachment states.
Yeah, maybe doing hard links if you are at the end is using the same server for this, doing hard links is very easy and don't require the space. It takes very few time. So it's the usual strategy I use for not having to worry if I need it or not.
Can I add something? We in Italy have a case that this is needed because the electronic invoices are recomputed during the process, and because they are into the file store, without them they will fail. So we can do that to do some tests to make the process faster, but is not the last version, productive version that to migrate.
Another question? Comment? Yes?
I don't know if it's good. So my technique is migrate first in test without the file store, and I have all the problems Pedro said. And at the end, we do a snapshot of the big file store, and then we mount it in another instance, and we can roll back in case.
Okay, I have a question. It's a bit less technical question, obviously. It's just that for me, or maybe for you it's clear, but I don't know if it's clear for everyone. So you presented 3 different tools, and what is the best use case for each tool? And yeah, because maybe for you it's clear, but for me no, and I suppose it could be interesting. So is one of you willing to make like a synthesis? Yes?
So I think first the context is that all of these tools have been developed independently from each other without knowing that they existed. So it were concurrent efforts. If we had known, we probably would have worked together. But we can see that now there are 3, even 4 tools now, one from Weinstein. And well, currently I would say that if you want to if you're really technical and you want to develop also Open Upgrade script, maybe Open Upgrade Wizard would be easier, more complete. While if you want something out of the box, like Holger showed, it's quite easy. And here and the one from Sergio, even from Odoo, so it's more accessible. I think maybe we should coordinate all these efforts into one OCA tool. Well, possibly one that would cover most use cases, so that we don't spend too much effort duplicating things. But I don't know which way to go with that. Yeah.
So actually, I had it in my mind before, and your talk convinced me to really do that, to make run migration actually a wrapper around the Open Upgrade Wizard. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because what I wrote is, and you're totally right, I wanted something to basically, I wanted an icebreaker for Open Upgrade, something where that also, in my opinion, should end up in the official Open Upgrade documentation, where it simply starts with run that, see what happens, and then you're good, or not, and then you can contribute and talk to people. And then I think it makes total sense if this then already in the background sets up an environment where you can then just start developing with the Open Upgrade Wizard. So I think this is actually pretty easy to do, and then everybody can focus on the specific goal. The specific goal of the Open Upgrade Wizard is to be comprehensive and give you a lot of options. The goal of run migration is feed on people and provide a standardized version of doing things, because what we see very often in the Open Upgrade repository, I think it's at least 10% of the questions is people messing up their installations, and then posting questions where you really notice they do not have the faintest clue of what they are doing. And yeah, for a while I thought, okay, then this is not the kind of user you want to have, and the complexity of the process itself works as a filter to just get rid of those people. But by now I've reassessed that position, because this is also users we need and we should serve, because in the end those will then also be people who make the OCA and Odoo more powerful, because they will be spreading the good word about Odoo.
Let me be a bit pessimistic about the convergence of the tools, because the problem here is that it depends a lot on how do you deploy your Odoo. So as there is a lot of ways to deploy, then a tool that is very tied to this deployment is not going to be unique and can be unique. And this is what happened. I would say I have a fourth or a fifth a tool, which is Dutba. we deploy with Dutba, and we don't need, I see that your tool is similar, because you are already creating like an scaffolding that we do on Dutba and created that intermediate version. You have one file for injecting Python libraries, we have another, but it's similar. But this does nothing to do with, for example, Holger going more to the low level, or Sergio using virtual environments of Python. So because he probably deploys his Odoos that way, so it's difficult to converge. No, well, okay, no problem. But it was just an hypothesis to get you to that tool. So this is going to happen, and more when you have already invested in infrastructure, you want to link this process with that. So we won't have that tool. But it's true that for, let's say, newcomers, we have to standardize one thing for having that. If you have this problem and you haven't followed this path, maybe probably the problem was in that procedure. Try with this. It's similar to have it. Have you tried on Roundtable? If the error is reproducible in Roundtable, then I will check. If not, please first do that. So I think it can be good to go for one, let's say, official tool to introduce in the documentation and so on, and have it as reference for the people wanting to, let's say, try. Okay.
Do you want to answer, or can I ask another question?
I added something later.
Okay, just I have a question, another topic. So maybe you can answer and then.
Yes.
We use Docker to deploy the Odoo, but I thought about this module because I see many people that have Odoo installed in their company, but they don't have a partner. They do it by themselves. And I think they don't. We don't had to make them closed, blocked in something they can do. They have something to understand, to learn, open upgrade in their company to upgrade Odoo. Is a nightmare. A company that install Odoo, which is open source, had to use a simple way to upgrade like it was Windows. That simple, not go in the website, open upgrade, understand this, open your command line. What is command line? It's not a good way to show or do to the common people. So I think about this module to be usable by everyone, and then to be put in the simple modules, not a customized module. The process will be easy. Don't you do a good job in migration open upgrade, and some instances which are very simple, or use OCA modules without changing them, they can be migrated simple by some buttons and stop. And then we can make it, put it in the OCA Runbot testing, because we had to do that to be sure that our migration script works. This is simple as that, not a developer that have to do something to do that process, I think.
Thank you. I like your approach as a non-developer.
That's the theory. That's
So,
the theory.
another question?
I had a question. I want to have some feedbacks from real case migrations, especially regarding the topic of the downtime. Recently, some years ago, I did a migration of big databases of 80 gigabytes, and from 8 to 12 with some stock refactoring. And so it took me 30 hours, so more than a day, and it was a big downtime, and my customer can't have such downtime, so I had some problems, and so I wanted to know how do you handle such problem if you had. What is a big migration for you, a small migration? How did you face some problems? You.
Let's do a round if you want. Okay, this way. Okay. First of all, to say that this won't happen too frequently on newer versions, because we have focused on the script development on that kind of things, trying to be more performant in general. What that means, when we detect that a new computed store field is added on an existing table, we check if the impact is high or not. And if it has a good impact, then we try to make the equivalent SQL query for performing this. On version 8 to 12, it was the default strategy was to let Odoo to compute the fields, and this combined with the improvements on the framework itself that Odoo has made. So even if it's computed by the ORM, it's faster. So it's more weird. But that can happen, and that can happen if you have a lot of changes on things. So you need to first analyze the logs to see where is the bottlenecks. This is usually, or you have a specific process that you are doing on migration scripts, or is performed by the ORM itself on the black box that is the moment between the pre and post migration. That happens because Odoo already performs the schema changes there. So once you have detected where are the bottlenecks, one thing you can ask is if you can suppress that operation and do it later once you have already started the new instance. For example, there are computed fields that, even being an SQL query or being computed by the ORM, are very heavy. But they are only informative, they are only needed for any kind of process that you are not going to that process. So I simply pre-create that columns. So this is not a trigger of if it's on one migration script, I simply comment that part of code, run the migration in a shorter time, and then I do that pausing it.
Okay.
Pause. That's one of my techniques for that problems.
Okay, we'll let Hugues talk about this improvement because he has work on that, not me.
But maybe we continue like that.
Well, I don't have much to say.
You don't have issues.
Pedro was very comprehensive.
Okay.
The original question was, what was your latest migration, your longest migration?
Yeah, exactly.
Not sure if that's...
Is it generating problem with your customer when you say you will have a downtime of a day or 2 days?
That of course depends super much on the customer and the kind of customer I have. They are okay with the system being down for a week. So
Very cool. Well, I have forget it that the other is to contribute. The other technique is to contribute to Open Upgrade to improve the scripts. And yes, we have switched several scripts to be more performant, and others have done similar things.
And to finish it, my longest migration was 70 hours.
70.
Yes. That fits into a weekend.
So you were good.
I used the same technique as Pedro. I skipped the computations of some computed fields, and then they computed later in the running version. The longer it takes, it was one day 24 hours or 30 hours, the longest migration I've done, from 8 to 12.
So yeah, downtime can be problematic for some use cases, of course. Like Enrico Bella told me, he was working at a hospital for the Odoo instance, and the hospital stays open all the time, and so the downtime is really critical there. So he worked a lot on optimizing the scripts, so pre-computing fields, etc. In my experience, the hardware you run the migration on is very critical too. Like if you have a server with a hard drive, it can be 10 times slower, and also tuning PostgreSQL right for your machine is very important too, because Open Upgrade will make tons of writes on a lot of rows, and if the auto vacuum is always triggering, it's also bad. So you can really optimize things. I had a 10 times speed up going from a hard drive to a SSD and fine-tuned Postgres. Yeah. The longest it was probably before I started working. It was bees now. Yeah. So I don't know how much.
Yes, the longest I think was, I don't calculate, but like 15 hours, something like that. So started midday and midday the other day. 24 hours, yes, something like that. We don't have so big databases like more small ones.
Yes, but thanks. At one time it would be blocking because as you said in healthcare, but there is transportation too. Like we have 2 customers in transportation, they cannot stop more than 2 hours. So because their flights, the planes don't wait for the checking baggages of the travelers. They need to have the system, and for boats, they travel all night, 24 hours a day. So maybe open upgrade focus for future is to focus on the minimizing the downtime, if it's possible.
That has been already.
One of the technique is just to make a migration per year, because if you make a migration from 8 to 12, for example, or 12 to 16, it's a bigger. Than, and I think that Henrik make migration each year for each version. Yeah. So you reduce.
No, 2 versions.
No, 2 also.
From
hospital?
For hospital, yeah. No?
Yeah. Henrik recently.
Yeah.
Henrik recently migrated from version 14 to 16.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And there are some.
And we have 5 minutes left.
What I just remembered is so another customer where I didn't do the migration myself, but they had a big in-house team doing stuff, and I was just a technical consultant for some oversight things. They actually dumped the system as it was, ran the migration on it, and then wrote some login functions so they kept the old version running. They did some login for their specific database where they knew, okay, we need to record stock moves that happen, we need to record some other things, we don't care about the rest. And then they, in a super proprietary way, applied that to the migrated database afterwards and did a switch over this way. I think for a professionalized. I'm searching for the noun. The professionalization. No.
Yes.
Professionalization.
Professionalization, exactly. Yes. For professionalization of this whole process, I think we need something like a changes recorder, because this is what all the big database systems do, because you will always have some downtime. So the normal case is you migrate in the background, you keep running the old system, you apply the changes from the old system to the new system. But yeah, doing that in a general way in Odoo, very difficult. I would
scale very quickly.
Yeah. I would love to have somebody finance 2 years of research and a team of 10 people to do that. But yeah, up to now, funds are lacking.
Yes, so I remind everyone looking at the video, we are looking for sponsors and members. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we have. So the last question, or
The last question is another.
you should have taken a seat, Cyril.
Sorry. And one aspect not to forget is the human factor. Every time we have a migration, we have like several burnouts in users, and so they don't want one per year. They want to do it every 2 years. So we have to manage the human guys, and then the speed of the migration and the minimizing the downtime.
Yeah. Let's go for the last question.
Yeah. It's a very commercial questions. I was asking if you are looking for a customer asking for migrations. For example, if in the Open Upgrade main pages, I put a text, so you want to migrate your database and you don't have the skills, you can contact Sergio, Holger, Hugues, or no, or you don't want such mails. That's the question. You can make a maybe for you.
In the same. No. Short answer. If there is more time, I explain.
I think we have made some estimation for such migration of people that were not our client, not on our architecture. I don't think we have done on. No, it was when Virgine was there. So we have some people coming, but yes, it was too costly, or for us too messy to even make an offer.
I do it sometimes, but for political and open source community reasons, I don't think this kind of thing belongs into the official documentation of Odoo.
A faster response, no.
So Remy already answered,
Maybe it deserves an explanation for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The case can happen also if they want to move to our architecture, that we package this in the offer, but just migration and give them back, no. It's very, very time consuming, and so it's very expensive.
I know someone who said yes.
Yeah.
With the migration from 8 to
I would like to add something.
he said yes, but it's
I just wanted to add something about your tool. I think it's really nifty to be able to do that from Odoo. Maybe it could be a multi-layered approach where you have a general tool that can be launched from the command line and an Odoo module that leverages this for like your module. That instead of doing the whole thing from your code, making it more accessible.
Is think for the user that use it in the Odoo instance, but it do the same things that their option do, because we have to do the same things to do this process. Do some SQL, do some change in with some script. It to do the same things, only it is shown to the people in a normal process. So it's not different in the under the we.
Yeah, No, it's okay. It's because it's the same thing. It should be the same code, I think. And then we can talk about that later.
It's a little different.
And so maybe we can just have the longer answer about your no, maybe, and then we will conclude.
The direct answer is no, because you are inheriting something that you don't know their state, the decisions made for getting to that set of modules and so on, and they are trying to get something similar in the new version. So the direct answer is no, unless there is also something behind involved, like an auditory analysis of the situation, the business needs, and then after the migration, the corresponding maintenance for a reasonable period of time that assures both the customer and you that the migration and the implementation in general is successful. So that's the whole package. But take this, migrate it, and how much? Only? No. Okay.
Thank you. So we will finish now because I think there are other talks, but we still have the lunch and the rest of the day to discuss all those exciting open upgrade stuff. Thank you all for joining and for explaining all your projects. It's really interesting. And so I hope we can have something proposed and explained on the OCA official documentation about all of this. Yeah. I think it would be a nice addition. Okay, so thank you, everyone.